Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Yeah. So I'm at Mom and Dad's, and I thought maybe it might be a good idea for us to start some of these videos off by talking about the process once you find out you have Alzheimer's, because Mom's had it for 6 years now. Hi, Caitlin. Thanks for joining. And they've been on this for 6 years already. But, you know, at first when you get the diagnosis, it's kind of world shattering. I know it was for us as a family. So I just wanted to ask Dad some questions on how the process went for them, because I can tell you what it was like as a daughter and what it was like from the outside, but not inside the dynamic of what was going on with them. So I'm going to put them primarily in the focus, and I'm just going to ask some questions. Yeah. All right, Daddy. So I know Mom got diagnosed July of 2012. That's when we went to the doctors for the first time. And I know for at least 2 years before that, Ron and Kevin and I had tried a couple of times to talk to you guys about it. Mm-hmm. And for us, it felt like as soon as we tried to bring up the subject, it got shut down. And you guys didn't want to talk about it, and you kind of just immediately changed the subject. And so
they made it.
You guys were planning to go to Costa Rica.
Yeah, we were.
And you were going to look at property to retire, right? Yeah. And you were planning a trip. And I remember at our family reunion out at BP Park, going on a walk with you and telling you that I really didn't want you taking Mom out of the country unless she'd been seen by a doctor. And we scheduled an appointment. We went in, met with the doctor. They did a series of memory tests on Mom. And the diagnosis was that she had early onset Alzheimer's. So she was 67 at that point in time. And I just kind of want to know, like, for you guys, what it was like with the early part of having the diagnosis and trying to understand what it meant. And, you know, I know you guys talked a lot about the future and Mom's care. Like, so maybe just tell me in your own stories, like, what that first couple of years was like.
The first thing was that she called me, told me she couldn't find her way home because it was devastating that, you know, she's not a drinker. She's not. Yeah. That's why I said that. I took that out of the way, and so we just got her home. And for the first 2 years after that, things changed. She'd been the cornerstone of my home for doing the bills, doing the wash, doing all the work she does at home. But still, I started removing those little by little from her to take the load off of her, and. But for the first 2 years, it was really not that much change at all with her. It's the last 4 that I've seen changes taking place, you know. But when we found out that the doctor gave found out that she had and gave us a report on it, then we just at that time we talked about it, and then we closed the idea of going out of country because there's no family, nobody there. So we decided not to go with that venture any longer. And I wanted her home, and I wanted her near family. And from then, we've not really, life didn't change that much till probably the middle of the 2.5 years. And life started changing. But I try to change with her. Like I said before, I love her dearly, so I like to go ahead and do as much as I can for her. People tell me it's a burden. Yes, it can be, but I really believe we do things for each other with love and care. I think it's why we're able to go as long as we have, so what I consider comfortable. Not that it has been peaches and cream every day, but still, it's something you just work through. And
they come up and
yeah.
So I know. From an outsider perspective, I feel like right after you guys got the diagnosis, for me, and maybe a little bit for Kevin and Ron, I haven't really talked to them really in depth about it, but it kind of felt like you guys circled the wagons and went into protective mode of each other. And I really, you know, we butted heads a couple times, you and I, during that time period. And, you know, because we were wanting what was best for Mom, but we wanted you guys to be independent and make your own decisions. But we also wanted to know, like, what's the plan? You know, how do we move forward as a family? And, you know,
have see their own scene, see.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that happens with Alzheimer's, especially when it's a partnership like this, is that you guys cover for each other. And I know that sounds weird, but you picked up the slack in Mom's memory. So where she couldn't remember something, you kind of would cover the conversation, or you would fill in for her and do those kinds of things.
One of the reasons that you felt like we were putting a circle around is because a lot of times you tell somebody it can be perfectly okay, and you tell them, okay, you know what, you got this, and the person automatically takes that, and the mind is a curious thing because it proceeds to go ahead and you accept it.
I'm just getting you more chips.
But you sit there, you accept it. And that's what I didn't want for her. I don't want her, people that tell her, oh my God, I'm feeling sorry for you, and you're so bad, and it's so consequent what you're doing. You accept it. Mm-hmm. Our next door neighbor.
Can I have a little? Can I have your bowl?
The next door neighbor at the condo, that what happened to him. Mm. He was told what he had. But up to that time, he had a pain on the side. And up to that point, he was still natural. He was still doing good, everything else. The minute they told him what he had, it's almost like somebody shut off a switch. He accepted it totally. And it's like almost, okay, just put me in the coffin attitude. I didn't want that from my wife.
Yeah.
I thought, no, I'm not going to accept that. If it's true, okay. But we're not going to let it just go ahead and put us down.
Right.
Because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep on living. I'm going to try to do what I can for her, and I'm going to accept what she has. But I'm not going, because a lot of people have the idea, okay, gee, I got cancer, I'm going to die, and they accept it.
Yeah.
And they don't try to do nothing for themselves other than, okay, I'm just waiting for the day I'm gone. No, I said, absolutely not. We're going to keep on living. We're going to keep on day by day by day. If I cannot change it, and God won't heal it, then I'm going to accept the idea that I'm the one that's going to take care of her until God takes her, because I'm not going to sit and let her say, okay, well,
Raphael,
that's the way it is. Mm-hmm. You know, and some of the things that I've noticed in the last 2 years was that, I don't know, it's because it's anger. Mm-hmm. But there again...
Anger with Mom.
Yeah.
Mom being angry.
Yeah, and she has spurts of anger, and it's like, you know, she can't change what it is either. But consequently, because I'm the caregiver, I'm the forefront, I'm in the line of fire. So it's okay, you know. She bounces it off of me, and I bounce it off of her back and forth, you know, and we talk about it. And we have come out to the decision that we'll keep on going, and I want her next to me as long as God will give her to me, and accept it. But, you know, it's one of those kind of things that I don't know how other people how they accepted it. To us, we're like one piece of the pie of all the people that have it. But there's no other way. There's no sense in running amok.
Right.
You know, there's no sense in me running everywhere and trying to find another doctor. So I think I want the 5 opinion or 10 opinion because I don't know if I trust my doctor. You know, it's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I've taken her to the doctor base, and what happened is that she asked her questions, so see how she was, and she answered the best she could, and she looked at me, and she looked at her, and she said, do you know this guy? She didn't say nothing, and she looked at me, she said, does that bother you? We've always been a family that laughs, and try to have joy in our hearts, and so she said, does that bother you? course, I said, no, as long as she doesn't call me Bill or George or Pete, you know, I'm okay with it. And we laugh. Even then, we still laugh because, you know what? I still have her. I can hold her. I can touch her. I can kiss her, you know. And so consequently, to me, it's okay. It's just another thing we have to live with when we continue. How other people handle it, I don't know, but I pray for them because being one of the caregivers, I know what I'm going through. Every case may be a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. What about the one?
I don't believe that every case like we have is the correct way or is the only way that you do things. No, because everybody's who has it might be different. Mm-hmm. Their actions, their feelings, their whatever. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So that's where I sit. It's okay.
That's glad I did. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not calling that we're special, other than we just live from day to day, and we see the day in happiness and try to look at each other for direction. Even now, we look at each other. Like this morning, I did the bank account. She sat there with me. She played with the receipts and stuff. But she's how she helps me. I don't want to leave her out of everything because I feel like she still needs to do something like play with the papers if she has to. Okay, she did. And we got up, she carried the papers so we can put them away. See, that's her giving.
Yeah, she's still part of the process.
I don't want her to put her down like a plant and water her once in a while. No.
Doing what?
Yeah, you wouldn't let him do that anyway, would you?
No, but it's kind of those kind of things that I still want her involved.
Yeah.
What is it?
You know, it's like.
You better tell on me, baby.
Yeah, he's telling on you, isn't he?
But we work very well with that. You know, it's like we can't say anything other than, you know what, we've always shown love in our family, and we work with that. You know, and I tell her, you know, how much she's loved because Danica coming over, you coming over, my son's being involved in it. It's like even her sister's going to be coming over now. But it's like, okay. You know, that shows you that you're loved, that we are loved. And so
they think, this was
the last thing I want to is for her to start shutting down.
Right.
And that's what people do when they tell them you have this. Even though they've been acting fine, maybe they might have a pain or something, and they're told, guess what we found? This is what we found with you. And it's like, you accept it. And you say, okay, I guess that's what I got. I guess I'll be dying here pretty quick. No, sorry. I don't believe in giving up.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in telling you, oh, you know what, because your dad had it. I'm not my dad.
Yeah.
I may have my dad's genes in me, but I tell you what, I am not my dad. I am not my brothers. I am me. You know, and I look at it this way. I challenge everything that comes at me because that's the way I live. Mm-hmm. But what other people do, I don't know. And all I can do for them is if I know that somebody has it, I can just pray for them because I know that their situation is like mine, but not exactly.
Right.
They have to put up with other things that either occasionally they come up and say, okay, well, how do I do this?
Well, and every person's different, right? I mean, the person who has Alzheimer is different, the caregiver is different, and how they respond to situations is going to be dependent on the dynamic of those two people. So, so that's just a brief snippet into like how they got the diagnosis and how they started to move through it. And so, you know, fast forward, we've been in this process 6 years now. And, you know, my mom is still my mom. She's as hilarious as ever and as spunky as ever. And, you know, she just has some issues. She's got some care issues that happen and she has some communication issues. But if, you know, like I said, if you're paying attention to her body language, to her eyes, it doesn't matter what the words are that are coming out because you can still understand what's happening and what she's trying to communicate. So that's it for today. I just wanted to kind of give us a good ground as we start moving forward. So these videos will happen once a week. And still trying to figure out what day of the week that's going to be. But I'll let you know when we settle on a for sure day. Have a great day, everybody.